Hello, 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 and welcome to the Dr. Toomer Talk Show. I'm Dr. Catherine Toomer. I'm a family medicine and community health physician and weight health specialist and founder of Total Weight Care Institute, where I provide comprehensive and compassionate weight care for those who especially feel like they've tried everything and nothing works and they are coming to the end of their rope. And the way I do this is by individualizing programs for people who have tried everything and seem to gain their weight back. And so I always say, what you do now, you have to do when you're 90. Otherwise, whatever you do, your progress goes away if it ever falls away. So, welcome and thank you for joining me. If you're here, please say hello and tell me where you're listening from. If you're watching later, put hashtag replay. At the end, I will be answering questions. And also, I love getting input about different topics. So anything that you'd like, me to talk about, because I'm, I guess, a health, wellness, and weight care from family medicine standpoint. And so if there's anything you want to talk about, anything you want more information about, you can send me a message. Particularly on YouTube, I tend to see those the best. And I also have a Facebook group, and I'll put in the link in the chat later. So I'm going to get started. I'm say hello to Chris. Thank you for joining. And for Arnav, um, your first one to like. Well, thank you for joining. So what I wanted to talk about. So a lot of time we hear a lot of complaints about doctors, and I know I'm probably one of the worst. But we hear a lot about when we go to doctor's appointments, how it seems like what we're interested in talking about gets dismissed. Or you say something and you think it's nothing, the doctor hones in on it because they realize how significant it is, and so you're like, but that's not why I'm here. But to a medical mind and to medical ear, what you're saying means something totally different than what you think it is. And so often what happens, you walk away feeling frustrated, you walk away feeling like nothing you wanted to talk about was addressed. And so I'm going to give you a clue of a way that you can make your doctor appointments more effective, and it helps. The way we diagnose anything is from getting a good history from you and then doing a physical exam around the area that you're having an issue. That history is extremely important because different parts of information can change what we think it is, where we need to go next. And so it can be very helpful in helping yourself. And because we aren't mind readers as much as we'd like to be, and we have a vast amount of knowledge, and so one bit of information will send us one direction, and another bit of information will send us another direction somewhere else. And so what I'm going to talk about today is an acronym that you can use to always make sure that the information your doctor needs is going to be given, the information that we find important to help us. The other thing you can do with this is also, when you go to your doctor's appointments, make sure you have something to write with, a pen and a piece of paper. You're going to get information. You may or may not remember much of that information. You can even ask, how do you spell it? Things you can look up later. What's the significance of something? What does that mean? Ask those questions. You're allowed. It's your appointment. It's your health. So you need to, take charge of that and advocate for yourself. So one of the things we learned about in medical school, and this is actually what I use to ask patients questions so that I can get to the bottom of what's going on. And it's called PPQRST. Some people add another T at the end. I don't. That's not how I learned it. So I'm not going to do that today. So when you have a symptom, think PPQRST. You can write this down before you even go to the doctor's office so you can give it to them in a way so that they understand it well. The first P stands for precipitating or precipitous, meaning what brings it on? Is there something that makes your symptom happen? Bending over, if you're going in because you're feeling dizzy, is it bending over make you feel dizzy? Does coughing make you feel dizzy? Does, not eating? What brings on the symptom? So precipitating or precipitous, what brings it on? Make note of it. If you don't know, start paying attention, look for the pattern, because it's really important for you to know that. because what makes something happen is very important. It's very different getting chest pain after you eat versus chest pain after you run. So you need to know what brings on that chest pain. And so knowing what brings on the symptom is really, really important. The second thing is palliative. What makes it go away? What brings it on is significant. What makes it go away is significant. Do you get chest pain after you eat and after a while it goes away? Or do you get chest pain because you start moving and then when you sit down and rest, it goes away? Two totally different things. One could be gastrointestinal, the other one cardiac. And so any symptom that you have, know what brings it on and what makes it go away. Look for that pattern because if you don't know that pattern, nobody else is. Then it's PPQ. Q stands for quality. Now, quality tends to work best when you're describing pain, but it really can be any symptom. And essentially, what it means is what is the quality of the symptom that you're having? Is it sudden? Is it sharp? Is it dull? Is it lingering? Is it also comes under timing, but we'll talk about that later. But, um, is it squeezing? Describe the symptom that you're having. And particularly if there's pain involved, what type of pain is it? What's the quality of that pain? Then R, Q, PPQR. R stands for radiating. So does the symptom that you're having stay in one spot? Does it stay the same? Does it move? Does it shift from one type of event to another? Do you suddenly, keep using chest pain as an example. So you eat something, you get chest pain. Do you then cough afterwards? Or do you not cough? Do you get abdominal cramping? Or do you suddenly have to go to the bathroom and have really bad diarrhea after you've eaten? Or is it chest pain? You get up, you move around, and then you get dizzy. That is a changing symptom. Those are things that are associated with the symptom. It's sort of the same as radiating. When you get back pain, does your back pain stay where it is? Does the standing up moving bring it on? Does sitting down make it go away? Is it stabbing? Is it dull? Is it squeezing? And then does it radiate? Does it run down your leg? That's different than if your pain stays in one spot versus it shifts. So again, PPQR, R stands for radiating. S stands for severity. Does it stop you in your tracks? Does it prevent you from doing your daily activities of living? Does it stop you from being able to drive? Does your symptoms stop you from being able to move? Stop you from being able to eat? How severe is it? Does it disrupt your life in any way? No. Then it's one thing. If it does disrupt your life, then it's something else. So you need to know the severity of whatever it is it's doing and be clear. Not, well, it's kind of, it either is or it isn't, not kind of. So make sure you understand what it is that you're feeling and the severity of it. And then T stands for timing. When does it happen? First thing in the morning, later at night? Does it happen right after you've done something? Does it happen right before you've done something else? Does it last for a while? Does it, happen? Is it a quick thing and then go away? Or does it happen and then stay? So again, I'll use chest pain as an example. So we'll say, we'll start with the P, precipitous. What brings it on? Chest pain. Is it food? Is it movement? Does it only happen the day after you've exercised? So is it muscle? And there's another R, but I'll talk about that in just a minute. So what brings it on? What makes it go away? Does Tylenol? Does sitting down? Does, over time, not eating or not eating certain foods, avoiding certain foods? Does that make the feeling go away? Q is quality. Is it sharp, dull? Is it sudden? And then R, radiating. Does it stay in the same place? Do the symptoms stay the same? Does it shift? Does it change? S, severity. Does it disrupt your life? Does it not disrupt your life? And then T, timing. Now, the other R is, now one of the R's is radiating. Um, and I've already blanked out what the second R is. If I remember, I'll tell you. But so it's PPQRST. So that's the acronym that you use when trying to describe what it is you're feeling. So if you have those things and you know those things, that's what you tell your doctor when you go to your doctor visit. Having that information is extremely helpful. It helps us narrow down what's going on. And so if you have any questions about that, I know this was rather quick. If you have any questions about that or even anything else, you can ask me now. So, wow, that went fast. Usually I talk a little bit longer, but so if you have no questions, what I am going to do though is put the link to my Facebook group where you can ask me questions, where I do a lot of coaching, where I provide a lot of information. And so I'm going to put that in there. Now, make sure that when you put facebook.com, you put /groups, because there is another total weight loss page. If you don't put groups, it will take you to the page. So make sure you put facebook.com/group/total weight loss. And that's how you can find me. You can ask me questions. The other place you can ask me questions is on YouTube, because YouTube is where I tend to monitor quite a bit and I get notifications. And so you can ask me that there. So Willie asked, what is the second P for? The second P is for palliative. What makes it go away? If you're having a symptom, what makes it come on? Precipitous. What makes it go away? Palliative. So that's what the second P stands for. Knowing that is actually very, very helpful. This acronym tends to work best when you're describing pain, but not only. Just kind of having an idea of what is associated with your symptoms is really important, because no one else can know that but you. And so when you're talking to your doctors, and because all medicine is problem solving, it's like puzzle solving. And the more pieces to the puzzle we have, the better we're able to solve that puzzle. But the only person with that information is you. So the more clearly, the more organized that information, the better. And so when you have short doctor's appointments, which is no fault of the doctors, unfortunately, because of insurance and the way it works and reimbursement, it's required in order for people to keep their lights on. They have to see quite a few patients in a day. So the easier it is to get as much information as you can, as short amount of time as possible, is the best. So, rather than giving long stories about, well, 3 months ago, and then this happened, then I told so-and-so, and she said, as much as we love to hear those stories, we just can't. Insurance companies have made it clear that we just aren't given time, which is one of the reasons why I do not take insurance, so that I can spend 30 minutes to an hour with people, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to survive. So if you have questions, now would be the time to ask. I realize I went through this rather quickly, and this is a little shorter than my normal talks, but okay, Lily says, thank you. You're welcome. So are there any questions? I know some people are probably coming on a little bit later. Unfortunately, I may not be here, because if there are no questions, we're just going to say have a good night and have a short night, and enjoy ourselves and just kind of enjoy this nice October evening. Well, so join my group. Talk to you soon. And have a really, really good evening. And I hope that all the information that I'm giving, and you give me some more information, give me suggestions of what it is that you'd like me to talk about, and we can do that. All right, then. Well, good night. And I will, oh, You asked, what kind of doctor am I? I am a family medicine and community health physician, but my specialty, I specialize in weight care, particularly metabolic weight care. Basically, because most weight gain is metabolic cause. And so I tend to go after the cause of why people gain weight so that we can fix it and make it go away and stay away. Um, so that's the kind of doctor I am. Good evening, Shah. How are you? Caught me just in time. I was actually just about to say good night. Um, and because I went through that rather quickly, and I didn't expect to. I would have added more to it if I had known. But sometimes we just have an early evening. Well, if you don't, thank you. So if you don't have any more questions, you can go to my group as I put in the chat and ask me questions there. They can be anonymous. I don't care if they're anonymous or not. I'll still answer them. And I will see you next Tuesday, every Tuesday, right here live, the Dr. Toomer Talk Show. So thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you again soon. Good night.